Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Samuel Legger here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another movie review. The name of this movie is called The Personal History of David Copperfield. Now, this is not to be confused with the magician David Copperfield. This is the character that was created by Charles Dickens, named David Copperfield. David Copperfield, in his life, his journey, enemies and friends, con artists, loved ones, family, and everything that sculpts this young man to being who he's supposed to ultimately be. Now, this is being played by Dev Patel. Dev Patel, if you don't know, Slumdog Millionaire or Lion, he can act. And I can tell you effectively that his performance was great. Like, he played to the genre. This is very much so a comedy piece, kind of autobiographical in a sense. Like, it seems like a biography of the retelling of a person, but it's fictional. But at the same time, it's very immersive and expansive. Every single scene, it transitions into something that he is describing verbally or what he's writing, and it transitions very well executed. This was directed by Armando Iannucci. Armando, he was the creator of Veep, so you can tell from a comedy standpoint he has it. But the thing about this that makes it so epic is the cast. I mean, these are just people that are small roles. Ben Whishaw, Benedict Wong, you've got, of course, Dev Patel, but you got Hugh Laurie, House himself, Tilda Swinton, you got Peter Capaldi, and I mean, just off of those names alone, like, this is a dynamic cast. And the interesting thing about it is every single interaction, every single character that, from a very young age, that Dev Patel's his character is interacting with and uncovering about himself through circumstances, through life, it brings out these different characters that have their own dimensions and layers to themselves, whether for good or for bad. And every single character, I would say from a scripting standpoint, even though this is sometimes cringy, sometimes this is comical, sometimes it's just annoying, like where characters go. I'm like, why are we going down this road? Like, I know this is where it's going to lead. Why are you wasting your time with this character? But every single character in the script of this literally has something that is meant for something else. Every single character, every single small interaction that you see. There's a moment where Dev Patel's character is interacting with Hugh Laurie's character for the very first time. Is at Tilda Swinton's house, and they're interacting in a house, and like all of a sudden he's kind of writing and talking and gibberish, and you're like, what is wrong with this character? And it envelops into something that is going to show such a brilliance and a love and a concern and an intellect of the actual character, David Copperfield, in conjunction with the character he's interacting. And by the end of the film, like, it really does go somewhere. It really is heartfelt. Like, each character interaction, honestly, in my personal opinion, could be its own movie. Every single character he's kind of interacting with, whether that be the character Agnes Whitfield, that is her dad is working for this firm, and they meet, and he's not in the best place of standing, but her interactions with him are so humble and meek. Like, it could be the most natural of best friendship, you know, like, it could be its own story. And I think that's the thing about this film, is that it's multiple different layered characters that have their own stories and backgrounds that do progressively go organically within the weavings of David Copperfield's story and his adventure. Like, it really is a real fully fledged adventure and biography of a character and where they're eventually end up. And it's beautiful. Honestly, by the end of the film, I was in tears. I really was. And it's weird because there's moments in the film I was like, oh man, this is way too gimmicky. Oh wow, this is just a tonal shift. Like, there's a moment where David Copperfield, at a very young age, loses someone. And Dev Patel his acting in that moment in the factory, it was amazing. Like, it really was. I was like, I felt it. I really did felt it. And I think also the way that it was edited, the transitions of scenes that kind of recall to what built up to that moment. And that also plays into a moment later on, because one of the biggest things in filters is that I think that most people associate what Charles Dickens was really doing with this character, David Copperfield, was flushing out his own life. Like, he, from my understanding, did work at a young age in a child factory. He did go through a rough upbringing. He did deal with these different circumstances of life. It's just interesting because one of the other things is that with this film, there's so many different people of different ethnic backgrounds. Like, it's, I mean, Asian, African American, Indian, Caucasian, and it's all over. And it's very naturally, it's not like, it didn't feel like anything was forced or fleeting, because even the most interestingly messed up characters, what was the character I think that I thought was the most interesting? The character that was played by Ben Whishaw, Uriah Heep. When you first see his character, make sure you're focused and zeroed into everything that his character is doing, because it could literally gloss you over. And I think that from a repeat value, this is one of those films you could repeat again. Another thing is that the tragedies that befall David Copperfield from depth of performance and the circumstances that he is befallen, they still find a way of making it serious in tone without overstretching, you know, the harshness of life and reality with showing it. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not like the circumstances are happening to him and they are violent, they are malicious, they are discriminatory, they are abusive. It is harsh. And even like the environment of London and the different backdrops of things that are happening, if you're really focusing on what's really kind of happening, because in all honesty, a lot of the things that he kind of is glossing over, even when he's going through it, he doesn't even understand, even at a young age, the circumstances that he's in, how messed up it is, how wretched of a situation he's being brought through, which makes it even more impactful by the end of the film when you realize, and he realizes everything that's kind of unearthed him to be who he is. And I don't want to spoil too much more than that, even though you can find all the source material through Charles Dickens' works and books that he's written over the characters. But like I said, the character Uriah, like, it's something you just focus on him and you're like, oh man, how did this get to this point? And I think I love that. I love that each character meant something. Each character wasn't insignificant. Each character in his mind, even in the way that he processed things, shifts and changes and unearths things about things he didn't know about himself. That, like his first love interest. Like when I'm watching it, I'm like, get a clue, dude. What are you looking at? What do you see in this? You know? But by the end of the film, I was like, maybe there was something there. And I love that. Like, it's not like any interaction or any expression that happens between him for the worse or for the better, between the characters that he sees and interacts with, it does mean something. It is very important. And I love that. I really did love a lot about this film that I didn't think, as I was watching it, I was like, I don't know. But by the end of it, I was like, this is actually one of the better films that I've seen this year. And it has a lot of heart, has a lot of progression about humanity and through circumstances and through, even through those times of like dealing with the mental side of this society that this character, this person is going through, it still brings about hope, change, and progression that we would hope to strive for as human beings. And I think that's one of the most effective personal things about this film that I was able to bring out. For me, this is an 8.5 easily, maybe a 9 out of 10. I actually really did enjoy it. Hopefully you guys go and check out the personal history of David Copperfield. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think that it's safe enough that you can watch it with your kids without it being going too far. There is some alcohol, there is some implied violence, there is a lot of hardship and poverty that is kind of exploited throughout most of the time through the film. but it is, you know, incrementally accurate to the times and through the circumstances that this character is going through. So definitely go and check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. God bless you guys. Peace.